Beautiful. Okay, we are now recording. So good to see you all. So good to have so many of you here as well, listening to the recordings or watching the recording. So, right, let's jump into the questions. I'll try and get through as many as I can. I know I say this every single week, and every single week I do not manage to get through them all, but every week I try my best, and that's all that you can ask of me. Okay, Brooke Amberbammer. Hi, Kim. First of all, thanks for all the hard work and dedication you give to us. You're amazing. Thank you, Brooke. I appreciate you. My question is about the new B Sculpted you've briefly mentioned. I'm curious what the difference will be between Sculpted and your current app. Will people need both or will they have to choose? Will those who don't do it be left behind, so to speak, and unable to participate in your programs? Is there a benefit to one app over the other? I'm not in your current app, but I would love to know the price point of B Sculpted so I can start saving now. Okay, Brooke, I'm just going to answer this very quickly because I already started reading it out, but I really want this Q&A to focus on butt camp more than a kind of a general Q&A. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. My internet froze, kicked me out, and then muted me, and I do not know what happened. And I'm pretty sure that it also cancelled the recording. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, it says recording, still recording. So anyway, apologies for that, guys. Literally, we've been having so many issues with our internet recently, and I really don't know why or what's happening with it. But anyway, I'm back now, so I apologize. So Brooke was asking about the new B Sculpted app, which is launching next year. I'm not sure how much you heard of my answer, but let me just give you a really brief breakdown of it. So B Sculpted is the direction that the Sculpted Vegan is going. So the Sculpted Vegan has been kind of my company up until now. We did launch the Sculpted Menopause last year as a menopause exclusive app for women. That went really well, but we've decided to kind of bring everything together into one platform called B Sculpted, because a couple of years ago we stopped offering just vegan programs and we started offering programs for non-vegans as well, as you guys will know. However, what happens is because people see our advertising and see the company and they see the word vegan, they still think that it is for vegans. And so that does put people off purchasing, unfortunately, or experiencing our programs because they don't know that we provide non-vegan programs as well. So we're bringing everything together into one offering next year called Be Sculpted. So we're not going to be investing in any other area of the company. We're not going to be running challenges through the Sculpted Vegan anymore. It's all going to be run through Be Sculpted. I can't give you any more information than that because I honestly need to get Butt Camp out of the way. Butt Camp 4.0, which is opening actually in 2 weeks, but it's our January challenge. I need to get all of that out of the way before I even focus on Be Sculpted. But next year, between January and when we plan on opening, which will probably be the end of March, we are going to focus. That's what I'm going to do on my planning and organizing and focusing on everything Be Sculpted. So I can't really answer your questions. I'm not sure of the price point at the minute. It's not going to be expensive. We're kind of toying with $97 every 3 months. So on a recurring payment. All of the programs are now going to be in Be Sculpted. I'm going to be recording like continuously in there. The programs are going to follow a theme. It's either going to be every month or every 3 months. There's going to be colors and there's going to be merchandise, and we're going to go into our own range of dumbbells and booty bands and glute bands and resistance bands and t-shirts and you name it, and like all the merchandise that you can think of. We're going to bring it all together under the Be Sculpted brand, and we're really going to build something phenomenal. So that's what we're planning for next year, but I really haven't actually completely mapped out the entire future of the company yet, so I can't give you any more details. And now what I realize is when I give people details and I say this is what we're doing, everybody gets like really set on that, and then if we change our mind, they get really angry. They're like, but you said. I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, I reserve the right to change my mind. So I've now learned, say nothing until you know for sure. And even then, be open to the fact that you might not even know for sure. But that's all the information I can give you. But until then, we have Buns and Guns now. We have the holiday shred. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you haven't picked up the holiday shred, this is the last day that you can get the discount for $48.50. It rises to $97 tomorrow. So if you decide you still want it after that, you absolutely can still get it, but it will be $97 from tomorrow. So last day to get the discount. So anyone moving out of Buns and Guns is going to go into the holiday shred. A lot of you are. And then after that, we're going to do Butt Camp 4.0 in January. It's brand new workouts. We're recording banded workouts as well to go with it. So banded butt camp, we're calling it, for people who travel, or if you're traveling with work and you can't bring your dumbbells. So we're going to have a banded version. We're going to have an abs program as well as part of it. 8 minutes of abs additional if you want that. We're also going to have, what else? Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. All new workouts, all new meal plans. We're going to offer build meal plans as well for those of you who want to build and don't want to shred. And I think we're also going to have the opportunity. I'm going to release 10 coaching spots to be coached by me. And so I'm going to do WhatsApp coaching. So anyone who wants to be coached by me, you're literally going to have direct access to me 24/7. Well, not 24/7 because I need to sleep, but no holds barred, unfettered, direct access to me throughout the whole program for to be coached via WhatsApp, just via video messages, voice messages, and coaching chat. So you literally have me on speed dial. I'm going to offer 10 of those. Obviously at a much more expensive price than the regular $97. But I would say those will be snapped up pretty quickly. Last time we offered a 4-week program for $4,000, and it wasn't even coached by me. It was coached by like the coaches. But whenever we ran a 4-week shred last year, we offered 5 spaces at $4,000 for 4 weeks for a custom program being coached by the coaches. And we sold 6 of them in the first 10 minutes. And I was like, quick, close it. We didn't have any more. We didn't have time to do any more than 5, but we ended up selling 6 in the first literally 10 minutes at $4,000. I was stunned. I didn't think anyone would buy it at $4,000, but I thought, well, if they do, it'll be worth our while to coach them. Well, we could have sold a lot more of them. People kept writing into customer service and asking. So those are some seriously dedicated people. But anyway, right. Okay. Not going to talk anymore about that. Let's get on with the questions. Monica Wince, perhaps it's just the holidays. However, have been inundated with fat-burning tonic adverts that work involving precise measurements of ingredients, apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, etc., and people losing 50 pounds in a month. Should we add tonics to burn stubborn fat that won't go away in addition to your tried and true proven effective methods? They show photos, so of course it must work. I really need to brush my hair. At one time, I did the tonics and lost weight, which all came back after I introduced foods. Thank you so much. Okay, I am so not into any kind of fat-burning tonics. It's not even funny. So let me tell you what fat burners are. There's really only a couple of ways that you can cause your body to burn more fat, and that is, well, there's only one main way you can cause your body to burn more fat, and that is through raising the metabolism. So if you take a stimulant that raises the metabolism, then your body will naturally burn more calories because it's doing what it does faster and more efficiently. It's kind of like if you go for a walk, you will burn a certain amount of calories. Your body's metabolism, just by doing what it does every day, burns a certain amount of calories. If you then sped up your walk and you went for a power walk, then you would burn more calories, right? In that walk. That's kind of the same as taking a fat burner. You burn more calories because you speed up what your metabolism does naturally. So a low grade stimulant would be something like caffeine. Caffeine raises the heart rate. Whenever the heart rate is raised, it causes it to beat faster. It pumps more blood around the body. So therefore, that makes the heart work harder. So it burns more calories. So that's like a low grade stimulant. That's kind of like going from, and green tea as well, but green tea doesn't really work the same way as caffeine. It doesn't work as efficiently. So that's kind of like going for a walk versus speeding up your walk. Okay. That's the fat burning equivalent of going for a slightly faster walk than you normally do. Then you go into 2 other stimulants, stroke fat burners, but those are under the counter medicines. They are not ones that you can purchase in your local pharmacy or online because they are classified as steroids. So one of them is called Clenbuterol. Clenbuterol is a very common bodybuilder drug that bodybuilders would take to raise your metabolism. I tried to take Clenbuterol years ago, and honestly, it was horrendous because I have a very I kind of talk fast, move fast, think fast, have issues in sleeping anyway because my brain works so fast. Clenbuterol, whenever you take it, literally speeds up your metabolism. My resting heart rate went from about between 53 and 58 beats per minute to 75 beats per minute. And I know that because I track up my Oura ring. So my Oura ring was like, something is stressing your body because my heart rate went through the roof. So that's what Clenbuterol does. It raises your heart rate. It also makes your hands shake. Like, it gives you the jitters. You literally feel like you're on drugs. The first couple of days when you take it, it makes you feel really high, but you do get used to it and you do settle down into it, and it stops making you feel that way after a while. But you do have like the shakes, so your hands just like shake like this whenever you're taking Clenbuterol. So it's actually they give it to horses as well, but I can't remember why they give it to horses. But it is a drug that is approved for pharmaceutical use. I know they do use it in certain procedures or whatever for patients, but it also Clenbuterol as well is actually helps to stave off muscle loss. So they will give it to patients who have muscular dystrophy as well, but it does have a real high stimulant effect. So it's not designed for fat burning. It's actually designed for muscular dystrophy, but it does have a fat burning effect because it speeds up the metabolism. Would not recommend Clenbuterol, okay? Like, unless you want to feel wired to the moon, not a good idea. The other one that bodybuilders commonly take is a thyroid stimulant called T3. So it's the hormone T3. If you take a T3 supplement, that actually speeds up your thyroid. It makes it work faster. So whenever your thyroid is sped up, your body burns more fat. That's why a lot of people who have thyroid issues or a slow thyroid find it difficult to lose weight, because your thyroid regulates your weight loss and your metabolism. So that's what bodybuilders would take as fat burners. Mostly T3 and Clenbuterol, a combination of both. I did try T3 as well whenever I was competing, but again, I just don't like messing around with my thyroid, so it wasn't something that I was interested in taking, because I've lost fat very naturally anyway, just through hard work and determination. So it wasn't something that I routinely took, but I'm open to trying anything, and I always like to have direct experience of things that I'm recommending or talking about. So those are really the only fat burners that exist. See, anything else that your people try and sell you, like, what are they? I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, you know what? There are other stimulants. I think there's another one out there called, what's it called? Something Bull. There's another one called like Shreddable. Shreddable. That's what all the competitors used to take years ago. And again, it's a stimulant. Okay. So lots of different stimulants. Those aren't the only two stimulants. There are other stimulants that you can take. Okay. But Shreddable, I think, has animal products into it whenever I looked at it. But basically anything that raises your metabolism, raises your heart rate, acts as a stimulant, that will cause your body to burn more fat. Anything that is a tonic will not. It just will not. Okay. Like taking apple cider vinegar to, help your body to lose body fat, complete bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Is apple cider vinegar, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, good for you? Yes, it helps to, aid digestion. It's supposed to be good for the liver. I couldn't tell you why, but I've been told that it is. So there's lots of different things that you can take that are healthy for the body. And I think that how they get away with selling these fat burning tonics as things that work is because you're taking something that is healthy for the body. And naturally, when your body is healthier, then you tend to burn fat more efficiently, because what a lot of people don't realize is your liver is your biggest fat burning organ of your body. Your liver is what burns fat in your body. So if it's what is responsible for breaking down fat cells into triglycerides to transport them through the blood to the tissues for energy. Similarly, it also breaks down energy, glycogen, into triglycerides and stores them as fat. So everything passes through the liver. Whenever someone is overweight, quite often they have a fatty liver. You don't even have to be very overweight to have a fatty liver. If you are moderately overweight, you will have fat in your liver. When you have fat in your liver cannot do its job of burning fat efficiently. So a lot of these tonics, I think, operate under the premise, and by the way, I'm just hypothesizing because I don't know, but the only thing that I can think of from knowing the body as well as I do is that they're claiming that if your liver works more efficiently, it will burn more fat. And so a lot of the tonics are aimed towards cleansing the liver, making the liver work more efficiently, making the digestive system work more efficiently, this kind of stuff, right? But none of them are fat burners, because the only thing that can cause your body to burn fat more effectively is a stimulant, or a T3, or a thyroid stimulant, right? That's it. There's nothing else that can cause your body to burn fat effectively. So even GLP-1s, which I'm a massive fan on, all they do is curb your appetite so you don't actually eat as much. But then what GLP-1s also do is stimulate your body to store glycogen more effectively. So basically your insulin makes your body more sensitive to insulin. Many people, whenever they are overweight, their bodies become insulin resistant. And that basically means that the cells don't want to they become resistant to insulin, and that they don't want to accept the glucose out of the blood and turn it into muscle glycogen. Um, because insulin is constantly knocking at the door of the cells and going, open up, open up, open up. I have too much glucose in my blood. I need to get rid of it. They just get deaf to the knocking, if you like. It's like someone who's constantly banging on your door. You would just eventually become deaf to the banging. That's what happens when your cells are insulin resistant. They become deaf to the banging because you've been eating high glycemic index foods for a long time, or you're in perimenopause or menopause. So therefore, your body is deliberately causing insulin resistance in your cells because it wants to divert more energy to fat store, because fat stores are estrogenic. They are used to create estrone, a weaker form of estrogen. And so whenever your estrogen levels start to decline, your body naturally wants to divert more energy to fat store to make more estrogen. So what GLP-1s can do is they make the cells more sensitive to insulin. They don't actually make it more sensitive to insulin. What they do is they act as a key. So GLP-1s can actually go into the key lock, if you like, the insulin normally goes into. They can turn the lock, open the cell up to accept more glucose. So they basically act as if they are insulin. So that is a way that your body will store more glucose out of the blood, which can help with with helping you to lose weight. Again, not a fat burner. So fat burners are something which causes the body to burn more fat. And the only way the body can burn more fat is if the body is stimulated in some way. All of the other tonics and things just, they contain herbs or different, tinctures or whatever that would support the liver, support the kidneys, support the body's systems better. But they cannot make the body burn more fat. The only thing that can make it burn more fat is lower calories, because your body will burn more fat because it doesn't have enough available energy. More exercise, your body will burn more fat because it will need extra energy than you are giving it from food and is available in muscle glycogen. Or stimulants, which stimulate the heart to beat faster, which causes the body to burn more fat. Those are the only ways the body can burn more fat. So stay well away. Do not waste your money from any tonics or anything that, promises 50 pounds in 1 month. I think one of the things I just want to say before we finish on this is it took you a long time to get into this state. It didn't happen overnight, okay? It didn't happen in a month. It didn't happen in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. It didn't even happen in 6 months. It took a long time. So you're trying to undo a lifetime of bad habits, or a year of bad habits, or 5 years of bad habits, or 10 years of bad habits. And it's not even just necessarily bad habits. It can be bad habits in conjunction with menopause. Or it can just be ignorant or uninformed choices. And by ignorant, I don't mean stupid. I mean as in like uninformed choices. Like you did not know that in perimenopause or menopause, your body was going to start creating an estrogen retirement fund. And so you didn't realize that it was putting on more body fat slowly. It was happening for a long time. But whenever you decide you want to get rid of it, the problem is most of us go, I want it yesterday. I want it tomorrow. I want it in 4 weeks. I want it in 30 days, right? And so we're constantly grappling around and looking for the fast thing that's going to make this happen sooner. Because now I've decided I want it now. The problem is we're just so impatient. And I'm speaking from experience here, okay? It's the same with me in the business. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this and I want to launch this and I want to do this. I want to do this with B Sculpted and I want to have these, products and I want to create this and I want to have this. And then I look at it and I go, okay, this is all going to take time. We cannot make things happen faster than they happen. Like I've been in business 10 years next year, 10 years, and it's gone by in the blink of an eye, 10 years. And my entire time in business, I have wanted everything to happen faster, quicker, make more money faster, be more successful faster. But you just can't. All of these people that are promising that you'll get rich quick, that you'll build a business fast, that you'll burn fat fast, it doesn't happen. Like, can you get on this program, for example, and burn a lot of fat quickly? Yeah, some women have lost like 30 pounds of fat in 4 weeks, but it depends on your starting point, your muscle mass, your lifestyle. It depends on how committed you are. It depends on so many things, whether you have PCOS or endometriosis or some kind of underlying health condition, whether you have bad knees or bad hips, maybe you can't do the full movements. Maybe you're giving it your best shot, but your best shot isn't the same as, what Joanne over there is doing, where she's going pedal to the metal, giving it 110% and heart rate through the roof in every single session because Joanne's a bit fitter or just a bit more crazy than you, right? So we all come from different starting points. We all have different bodies. We all have different limitations. We all have different metabolisms. We all have different muscle masses. You can only go as fast as you can go. You can't go any faster than you can go because you are going as fast as you can go. Because if you could go faster, you would, right? It's not that you're limited in some way. It's that, you're going as fast as you possibly can with your lifestyle and your body and your limitations and your everything. So do not be wowed by the wowed we say here in Northern Ireland. Do not be wowed and people are like, what? I'm like, wowed. Do not be wowed by the bright shiny thing. Okay. The bright shiny thing is the boring grunt work that comes from showing up day in, day out, press and play every fucking day, right? Having to see my face going, hi team, hi. And maybe for a nanosecond, you're like, okay, well, maybe life isn't so bad. Or maybe some days you're like, oh, fuck off, Kim. Like, seriously, like, piss off. Stop being so bloody happy all the time. Like maybe that's how you're feeling, but still you press play, you show up, you get it done. You're like, I hate you, but okay, I'll do it. Like that's where the magic lies. The magic lies in the very act of turning it on, press and play. That's it. That's where the magic is. See, I want you next time you press play, wherever you're pressing play, whether it's on a remote, whether it's on your computer, on your phone, I want you every time you press play to know that I'm going to coin that. I keep coming up with these ideas. And Tasha, write this down. The magic button. Okay. That's what we're going to coin it and B Sculpted. And we're going to train everybody that's the magic button. You're looking for the magic button. The magic button has the words has the letters PLAY on it. That is the magic button. And if you press that magic button every single day, then you'll look back in a year and go, holy crap, I am a different person. And I did say a year, yes. So that's where the magic happens, not in fat burners, okay? The magic button, that's what we're going to call it from now on, okay? Let's start training everybody in the group who isn't here listening to this. They're all going to be like, the what? The magic button? Like, what are they all talking about? Where is this magic button? You'll be like, the magic button? Who found the magic button? We'll all be talking about the magic button, right? So we'll all have to press the magic button every day. I pressed the magic button and I went ahead. Okay, Nana Moni, sweaty Nana, beautiful pink sweaty Nana. She said she looked like she described herself as? A beautiful, was it an eclair or a chocolate donut with pink icing the other day? I just thought it was such a good description. Nana's so brilliant. For planning ahead, will the Butt Camp 4.0 meal plan have a similar macro or calorie structure to 3.0? And will it include a refeed meal or will there be any major changes? So great question, Nana. 4.0 has exactly the same calorie structure, but you do get a refeed meal every week. And it's a refeed meal of your choice if you feel you need it. Whatever you want, knock yourself out because it is 8 weeks long. So the reason why there's no refeed in this program is because it's only 4 weeks and you really don't need a refeed if you're only going for 4 weeks. You might need one psychologically, but you don't need one physically. Hate to tell you, but that's why you don't get one in the 4 week plan because I want you to have the best results possible. But in the 8 week Butt Camp, similar structure, vegan, non-vegan meal plans, same calorie count as 3.0, but they're all new meal plans. Refeed if you need it, but we also are going to have build meal plans as well, and they will start at 1,500 calories and actually work their way up to, I think, 2,000 calories. So those of you who want to do Butt Camp 4.0 as a build and not a shred, you're going to have that option as well. So we just keep making them better and better. Okay, Chris Luera. What type of transformation do the judges expect and prefer to see in a 4 week shred? Fat loss or muscle gain? I am a serial SV member and have found that I am showing lots of fat loss as of now. Can I expect to gain or show lots of muscle in the next 2 weeks eating at 1,200 calories? Thanks, and I'm loving this challenge. Best one yet. I'm so excited. Well, this is not going to be the best one yet. I'm telling you now. Butt Camp 4.0 is going to be the best one yet. Where do you see? Here's what I've been doing, and I just keep telling you these wee tidbits. I've been refining, for those of you who've been doing every challenge with me, and I know there's loads of you here, since March, right? I have been refining the challenges. Like every single time they get better and better and better and better. And I've now managed to nail the workouts into 30 minutes top to bottom. And with supersets, I've just created the most incredible formula for from the minute you press play or the minute we start the workout to the minute we finish, 30 minutes. And they just keep like it's insane. So I'm using these as a way to get ready for B Sculpted. So that's why they're getting better and better. What type of transformation do the judges expect to see? You know what? There is no specific criteria, except we always say to them, we're not looking specifically for fat loss. You're not going to build a huge amount of muscle in 4 weeks. That's just the bottom line. Like, you're not. I mean, you can build some muscle if you're training super hard in 4 weeks, but what you'll start to see is just a body composition change. So we just look for the person who's made the biggest transformation. So the judges are like, looking at the overall package. And don't forget, it's not just your body, it's your overall package. It's your tan, your hair, your makeup, your skin, your bikini, it's everything that the judges judge on, right? And they don't go, oh, we're going to give her points for her hair or points for her earrings or points for her makeup, right? It's not done like that. But this is what I was teaching people in the last competition in boot camp. I could tell instantly, the judges could tell whenever they were looking at the photos, who had read the PDF that goes with the program that I give you for free, which basically teaches you how to win the competition. And it's called How to Pose for Instagram. And you might be thinking, well, I'm not on Instagram, I don't really need to know that. But do you ever think I would give you something for free as a bonus that wasn't going to help you? No. So for those of you who have not downloaded and read the PDF and watched the videos and practiced the poses, you are losing out, because that PDF teaches you how to take your photos, how to stand, how to make your glutes pop, how to make your shoulders pop, how to make your butt look amazing. Like, it teaches you everything you need to know to take the perfect after photo. And I can always tell who hasn't downloaded it and who hasn't read it and who has not done anything that we suggest in it because of your before and after photos. Okay. So here's a really good tip for standing out to the judges. Don't wear the same outfit in both your before and after photos. And a lot of people say, oh, but I would have thought that the judges would have wanted to have seen the exact same pose and the exact same bikini and the exact same whatever. Here's what you have to tell you. Now, there'll be less entries in this one because we only sold 1,500 programs, right? In the last boot camp, we sold like 3,000 programs, 3,000 competition entries. So there was and we always have 10% of people who purchase enter the program. Always 10%, never more, never less. In the last boot camp, we had just over 300 entries. I think it was about 350, but a lot of them are duplicates and wrong photos. So I think it ended up being about 320 entries. Okay. So you can imagine 320 entries, right? And the judges are scrolling, scroll. Like, these images are coming up in a ream before their eyes, right? Your before and after photos have to jump out at them. They have to pop. They have to make them stop. Like, it's like if you're scrolling Instagram, like that's the secret to doing Instagram advertising is you want to scroll Instagram or scroll Facebook, but you have to make someone stop. It's called interruption marketing. You have to make your post or your video or your text stand out. That's what you have to do as well in this competition. You have to make it stand out in the first scroll. It's not to say if you don't make it stand out, the judges aren't going to notice you, because if you have a truly incredible transformation, then they are going to notice you. But you want to make them go, wow, oh my God, wow. How do you do that? Well, you make your after photo look incredible. You put on your tan, but not too much tan, right? If you were like milk bottle white beforehand, you don't want to look like the color of coffee afterwards, okay? You're not looking for a show tan here. You're looking for lovely tanned skin with a glow. How do you create a glow? Well, get one of those like highlighter powders, right? And get someone to highlight all of your muscle areas. And then maybe put like a bronzer around the, like body paint yourself if you have to show off your muscles. That's what I used to do before going on stage. I used to like highlight all of the areas, my shoulder cap, like my back muscles, my tops of my glutes. I would have put like highlighter on there, made my skin look amazing and smooth and beautiful and caramelly. So if I'm going for a photo shoot, like, I'm doing all of these things, put on, make your hair look really nice, put on your makeup, wear some nice earrings, put on a pair of heels, please, for the love of God, wear heels. And I don't mean like little tiny block heels. I mean, crank yourself up. Crank yourself up with the big girls. Lift your glutes, right? Lift your heels. Get your glutes high and tight. No flat foot after photos. You can if you want, of course, but it doesn't make your butt look amazing. Like, make your butt look amazing. Heels make your waist look smaller, your glutes look higher, your shoulders look wider. They cut your feet off if you want. If you don't want people to see you're wearing heels, you don't have to have your feet in the photo. Cut your feet off at the ankles. Unless your feet are particularly shredded, we don't care about seeing them. The other tip is make your before and after pictures exactly the same size and make them fill the frame. Let me show you one I took earlier. I took this earlier whenever I was just showing a photo of me. I found a picture of me from last year. Oh, what's going on here? Where am I? No, I don't know what I'm in here. Found a picture of me from last year and I put it against a photo of me today. And so I put this in. So now this is, I've got both my feet in here. Now, so if I was entering this putting this in a competition, I would probably cut myself off at the feet. I'm trying to see. I would probably cut myself off here. Okay. But do you see how my photos are exactly aligned? Do you see how they're same pose? My head's at the top, my feet are at the bottom. It's not like, you know, they're not all over the place. Let me show you just while we're here. I'm going to show you because I think this is super important. And if you're listening to this, I'm really sorry. You're going to be going, I wish I could see what she's talking about. This is how we sometimes have pictures. Let me see if I can do this. This is how some people put in their pictures. This is how we get entries sometimes. A lot of times. Do you see how that doesn't even look symmetrical? Like I'm looking at that and I'm going, I can't really even compare the before and after. Like I can't, you know, or we get this, right? So let me go back. Or we get this. So imagine these are two before and afters. 1 second. I'm going to show you here. Or we will get entries like this. This always makes me laugh. This is how we'll get an entry. And I'm like, trying to see the person, you know, like, now here's the other thing you have to remember. I'm giving you all the insider tips here. These photos become poster children for my company. I post these on social media. We put them on our website. We want people to say, look at the results that we get. If your photos look like this, is this something that I want to put in my marketing material? You have to think strategically. You have to think, Kim's running a business. She wants photos that make people go, wow. Okay. First thing. You also want to think, okay, there's probably going to be 150 entries here. I have to make my photo stand out for the judges. You know, so, and see, do you see what I'm saying? Like you want to spend a lot of time with your before and after photos because we're going to get about 150 entries easily in this competition. And you want the judges to go, stop for a minute. Stop. Who's that? And go back. You want them to take a second look. Because if they make the judges go, wow, and stop, they will make the general public go, wow, and stop. But the judges want that you always remember something that has made you go, wow. And that's what makes it into the top 20, into the top 15, into the top 10. The other thing I want to tell you is, in every single competition, there is always a clear top 3. Like the minute the judges do their first selection, and they put them into maybe the top 20 or top 30, it's really just a fight for the top 10 at that point, but there's always a clear winner. Clear top 3, but usually it's like, I can't look past this one. Like she is there. They're always agreed. Can't look past this one. She's amazing. So that is how the judges decide. I know I've taken a bit long on this question, but I think it's important because it is one that we get asked a lot. And I think it's super important to talk about it. The other thing I want to tell you is, to make it super fair, we have 9 judges, okay? We always remove each judge's first place and 9th place. This is how fair judging is done. This is how they do it in diving competitions. So you always remove every judge's first place and their last place. And that removes the median. That takes the median, because this is how we decide the point system for the winners. Because there's always an outlier. There's always an outlier. Like, it'll always be that 7 or 8 of the judges have first and first, or first and second, or second and first and second. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always 2 people who are like, or 3 people who are like right up there in the top 3. And then there's one judge always that'll have like everyone else's first place in like 10th. So, because they just, for some reason, decide this, that person wasn't worthy. But that gets removed, because that judge, one judge putting that person in 10th place can literally knock that person out of first place when they were the worthy winner and every other judge had them in first. So we remove the first place and the last place. So you get the 7. So every single person gets the median. It's called the median, 7 results. And that's how the judging is done. So hopefully that helps clear things up for you a little bit. We do get asked questions about the judging a lot. And actually, I probably should make like a whole document about it so everyone knows how it's done. But there you are. Okay. Ursula is asking, please give me some sleep tips, especially those hormone-related perimenopause, 3 a.m. wake-ups and feeling wired but tired. That's such a good way of describing it. Wired but tired after just a few hours sleep. It's not sugar crashes or diet related, just hormones. Does microdosing GLPs help with that? I'm experimenting with supplementing GABA and that seems to help a bit. So the only thing, Ursula, that I ever found to help, and I'm not saying there aren't other things that will help, but is microdosing GLP-1s. I have been on hormone replacement therapy for 2.5 years, and it really did not affect my sleep. Now, I would go to sleep at 10 a.m., but I would wake at kind of between 3 and 4, and I'd be like, boom, wide awake. Like that was it. Like I am wide awake, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually wide awake. There is no getting back to sleep. So I usually just got up and worked. The only thing that changed that for me was GLP-1s. And I am on a combined estrogen and progesterone. I also take testosterone gel. I take 5 milligrams of testosterone gel daily. That also interestingly helped my sleep as well. But whenever I started microdosing GLP-1s, semaglutide, within 48 hours, I started sleeping through till 7 a.m. Now I sleep about, this morning, I usually wake about 5:30. 6 a.m. is a lie-in for me. So I go to sleep at about 10:30, and I'm awake by 5:30. This morning I woke up, 5:30. I was like, a great night's sleep. Woke up full of energy, jumped out of bed, got so much done this morning and worked solidly. Took my dog for a walk. Like I had a great morning, a super productive day. And that is normal for me now. But if it's funny, if my GLPs ever wear off, if I get to the end of the week or whenever I'm ready to take a second dose, I will go back to waking up at 4 a.m. I don't know what it is about the GLP-1s and sleep regulation. I think it's to do with the blood-brain barrier and also because it regulates blood sugar. I think what happens a lot, or what's very disruptive of sleep, well, 2 things. Cortisol is very disruptive of your sleep. Whenever you're in perimenopause and menopause, your body naturally produces more cortisol. The GLP-1s completely regulate that. Also, whenever, what's the other thing? Oh, insulin as well. Whenever your blood sugar goes on a roller coaster, whenever you're insulin resistant and your metabolism's all over the place because of lack of estrogen, that also helps. That also completely wrecks your sleep as well. So in America, it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty expensive as far as I know, but it is pretty easy to get hold of GLP-1s. And don't forget that even if your doctor prescribes you, or even if your insurance doesn't pay for it in America and if your doctor prescribes it for you, you don't, on a microdose, you don't take a full dose. Like I take less than half a dose once a week. So an Ozempic pen would last me 8 weeks. So, and it's not for weight loss. A lot of people say, oh, is it really good for weight loss? A microdose is not good for weight loss. It does not cause weight loss. Even if it does slightly dampen your appetite in the beginning, that wears off after a couple of months, I would say. Like my appetite is completely normal. I eat normally, right? Four times a day. Well, don't really eat 4 times a day at the minute. I don't tend to not eat breakfast, and then I eat very little during the day, and then I tend to eat more in the evenings now, just because it suits my workout schedule better. But so microdosing GLP-1s, if you can get hold of them, is the best thing to do. If you need if anyone here listening needs a contact in the UK or Ireland, I actually have a contact now that can provide GLPs. So hit me up on Instagram is the best place to get me, actually, because we can't talk about it on Facebook. They will literally shut our group down. If anyone even mentions microdosing in one of my Facebook groups, they will literally shut them down. So don't mention it in the Facebook group, or use code if you want to mention it in the Facebook group. But hit me up on Instagram and I can give you a contact if you're looking to microdose in the UK and Ireland. It's been the thing that's completely transformed my health and my life, honestly. I don't think I will ever go back. I don't think I'll ever stop microdosing. It's just been the singularly most transformative thing I've ever done in my entire life. My brain fog is completely gone. My energy levels are through the roof. I can concentrate again. I sleep like a baby. I have my libido back. I mean, triaging it with HRT and testosterone has obviously helped, but my recovery is through the roof. I cannot say enough good things about these drugs. There's research coming out at the minute. I saw a video the other day by an endocrinologist, a very famous one, and she said that she believes that GLP-1s will end autoimmune diseases. She said that that's how powerful they are. That's what the research is coming out now to show, that autoimmune diseases in the future will cease to exist because of how powerful GLP-1s are. So many people are like, oh, Ozempic, you're like, she's on Ozempic and it's for weight loss and that's cheating. It's because that's what everyone's been trained to think, that it's a weight loss drug. It's not. It is literally, peptides are the future to unlocking health and longevity. I believe that we'll finally figure out a way to live not forever, but certainly far longer than we do at the minute because of the research coming out in peptides. I am a peptide queen. I am on so many peptides at the minute: GHKCU, BPC 157, TB 500, semaglutide is what I've added at the minute. I may add ipamorelin as well. So I am literally like a walking peptide pill box at the minute. Oh, they're all injectables, though. They're none pills, right? Okay, I digress. Let's go back. Nadine Byrne is asking again about B Sculpted. I'm going to answer very quickly. She says, you mentioned a new program coming in March. Will it have different levels of training? Will it include home gym options that use more equipment like cables or bands and barbells? No, Nadine, it's all going to be home-based training. Now, of course, the home-based training can include dumbbells, barbells, that kind of stuff, but there won't be any gym equipment in it. There won't be any cables. There won't be any Smith machine, anything like that. It's going to be all functional strength and fitness. Because here's the one thing. Here's something I realized on the weekend. I realized that it has been such a long time since my body hurt. My body doesn't hurt anymore. My joints don't hurt. My shoulder doesn't hurt. This twinge that I constantly had in my trap, gone. Hip pain, gone. Well, that's because of the GLP-1s. But my body doesn't hurt anymore. My body is so balanced. I don't have a wonky left shoulder. I used to stand like this. If you go back and look at the very early videos of me on Instagram, like the Ignite series or with the ones I started recording last March, whenever I'm standing talking to the camera, I'm like this, my shoulder's up because my body is so imbalanced. And now I used to have to drag my shoulder down and stand like this to make my shoulders level. That's all gone. Why is it gone? Because now I'm not training with machines on a singular plane anymore. Before I was strong, but I was muscular, but I was weak. I wasn't really. I was strong. I could pick up heavy shit, right? But I wasn't functionally strong. I never in a million years thought that I would hear myself saying this. Like, I'm like, who even am I? But I have discovered the secret to health and longevity is functional strength and fitness. Functional. What do I mean by that? Multi-joint exercises, exercises that work your joints and your muscles at the same time, where you are working singular leg movements. Yes, we do some squats and things, but not squat with a big heavy load. We do so many lunges, so many, RDLs, so much glute work to strengthen your glutes. This is the secret to health and longevity, especially for women. It's the secret to your body looking incredible, looking lean. You don't need to be big and muscular to look super sculpted. You just need to be lean. So that's the secret. I think a lot of women are like, oh, but I need to eat in a calorie surplus in order to build muscle. You don't. You just need to lose body fat to uncover the muscle that you already have, which a lot of us do have anyway. Then once you've lost the muscle at the same time as lost the body fat at the same time as building muscle, your body will naturally start to sculpt. Do not believe all of the gym bros out there telling women that they need to eat more. Your problem is not that you're eating too little, okay? It's not. I promise you. Your problem is just that you're not patient enough and you're not training hard enough, which you are now if you're training with me, because God damn it, you couldn't actually train any harder. But that's been the problem up until now. You haven't been training hard enough. You haven't been training frequently enough. And but the functional strength and fitness, doing all the single leg work, the single arm work, it is literally creating so much symmetry and balance in my body. And here's my new hypothesis. Women in later stages of life, women over the age of 45, start to become imbalanced in general, not in their body, but your hormones become imbalanced, your emotions become imbalanced, everything becomes imbalanced as you age. Your life becomes out of balance after you have children, because now you have to care for these beautiful little beings that are annoying and time consuming, right? And costly, as well as trying to look after your house and your husband or wife if you have one, and look after your job and keep all the balls in the air. So your life gets so out of balance. And so what I realized is, since I brought my training back into balance, since I started balancing each side of my body, balancing the right and the left, I have no imbalances anymore. I don't have one side is stronger than the other. I don't have one side is bigger than the other. I don't have pain anywhere in my body because I'm not pushing and grunting and holding heavy weights just for the sake of moving a barbell, which is how I used to be. All machine work, right? Just pushing, pressing, squatting, all machines, all up and down, single line. Yeah, it's better because, if we're not getting injured and all the rest of it. But I'm not getting injured with the weights I'm lifting here anyway, whenever I'm doing dumbbell stuff. So you're much more likely to get injured if you're doing massive weights with free weights. This way is about protecting and moving and training the body and keeping it healthy and bringing everything back into balance. So imagine if you could just balance your physical body, how that infiltrates every area of your life. It balances your hormones, it balances your emotions, it balances and regulates every system in your body, your digestive system, your endocrine system, like everything just becomes balanced. So I am a massive fan of this way of training now. And that is honestly what I think every woman should be doing. Like, I understand a lot of you love going to the gym. You love lifting heavy weights. I used to be like that too. I ain't taking it away from you. But consider adding more dumbbells to your training, right? Just consider it, because you won't lose any muscle because of it. You won't build any muscle faster using bigger weights, at lower volumes. But I don't know, for me, I find that this way gets results faster, right? For women, they just build more muscle, burn more fat, get stronger, fitter, and faster, right? Just from the way that we're training. Whitney Ray, Kim, I'm curious about your thoughts on intermittent fasting. In the past, I've heard you talk about saving your meals for later in the day, and I used to do that as well. But with all the information out there saying fasting isn't good for female hormones, I've since stopped. I find that I'm so much hungrier all day when I'm eating right after waking up. Fasting worked really well for me, as I find it easier not to eat than to eat small meals all day. So my question is fasting okay? I want to hear your opinion on it again. So I do not intermittent fast, Whitney, and I'm not a big fan of it, because I'll tell you why. Whenever you wake up in the morning, your metabolism is slow because you've been sleeping. This is one thing I have not changed. And I, as you all will know, have been with me for a long time, I'm not adverse to changing. I like to change whenever I get new data. So whenever you wake up in the morning, your metabolism is slow. You want to wake your metabolism up with a high protein meal, or just a meal. It doesn't have to be high protein, but just a meal. Why do you want to do this? Because if you don't wake up your metabolism by giving it some food, particularly protein, which is thermogenic, your metabolism stays slow. Your body keeps it in fasting mode because you haven't eaten. Now, you can ramp up your metabolism by moving or jumping or doing some cardio or doing some weights. But if you don't eat in the morning, you're missing that metabolism revving window. So I always eat in the morning. Plus, it gives you brain power. It gives you muscle power. It's just good to eat a meal first thing. But if you don't want to eat for the rest of the day until dinner time, that's when I would advise you to do your fasting window. That is how I tend to do it at the minute. Not because I chose to do it because of some health benefit, but because I just find that it works better for me. If I have a big meal in the morning, and I mean a big protein-rich meal, like I will have, a big, huge amount of scrambled tofu with avocado and tomato and rocket, or arugula, as you guys call it, wrapped up in a big, in a big protein tortilla. And I will have that first thing in the morning. And then I quite often won't eat again until dinner time. I will have like maybe a vegan protein yogurt and like a banana or something, or a vegan protein yogurt, or a protein shake sometimes. And that's all I'll have. No carbs in the shake, just protein powder and water. Quite often I find if I do that, and then I eat dinner at like 6:00, and then I'll have like another small meal before bed, that actually suits my body really well at the minute. It keeps me alert during the day. If I eat a big meal at lunchtime, I get a post-lunch slump. And I have a lot of work to get through during the day. So even though I'm sometimes training and I'm doing 2 workouts and then I'm doing these coaching calls and I need a lot of brain power, it doesn't seem to affect me. Like, I still seem to have all of the energy that I need to do everything that I need to do. Plus, I'm burning a lot of calories during the day with not a lot of calories coming in. So my theory on it is that my body's burning a lot of fat because I'm not giving it a lot of readily available calories. And then I eat in the evening and I'm hungry in the evening. Like, there's nothing worse than eating all your allocated calories during the day and then being starving in the evening, because in the evening, there's a lot of science to suggest that your willpower goes out the window, because you know what it's like. And, you're kind of, by the time you reach the evening, you've made loads of decisions during the day. You've worked all day. You're tired. You've had a lot of shit going on. Like, your willpower is at an all-time low. Whereas during the day, your willpower is a little higher. You're busier. You can do stuff. You can distract yourself. In the evening, you're kind of just like, oh, fuck it. You hit the fuck it button and you're like, okay, I'll just have the cookie, or I'll have the thing, or I'll have the peanut butter. So I find that, if you want to be successful with dieting, why not make it easy for yourself? I can be hungry during the day, and I am hungry during the day, but I'm also super busy, so I can be distracted. But it's very much more difficult to distract myself from hunger in the evening. So if I don't eat a lot of my calories during the day, then I can save them up for the evening, and then I can eat away in the evening, eat to my heart's content. So I'm all about making it easier for yourself. I don't mind being hungry during the day at all. I'm more than happy to suffer through hunger because I can busy myself. And then I have my calories to eat in the evening. I'm all about life hacks. I always have been. How can I make things easier for myself. And that's why I've done it with fasting in the past. That's why I used to do it when I was dieting for shows. I would have eaten breakfast, eaten very little during the day, and then literally saved the bulk of my food for the evening. And it felt like I was having a feast every evening because I had all of this food to eat. And then what I remind myself of as well, sometimes I'm like, my tummy growls during the day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And then I remind myself, every year there are people who do Ramadan. I used to, my kids used to speak Arabic. I used to teach them Arabic when they were younger. And I had a beautiful Egyptian Arabic woman called Salma who worked for us. And Salma used to practice Ramadan every year for a month. And she did not eat from sunrise to sundown. And she used to come to the house, look after the kids. And she used to get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner throughout the month. At the end of the month, she'd lost like 30 pounds. And she looked amazing and her skin was clear and her energy levels were really high. And so anytime I'm really hungry, I'm like, there are men and women all over the world practicing Ramadan every year where they don't eat from sunrise to sundown. And somehow they survive. So Kim, if they can survive, you can survive too. I think that we're really kind of programmed to go, oh my God, I'm hungry, as if like something bad is going to happen. And I feel myself sometimes doing it too. Like my stomach will get really hungry. And I go, like yesterday, for example, I was cooking a huge roast for dinner and I hadn't had time to eat lunch because I've been busy all day. I came to about 4 o'clock and my stomach like gave this massive growl. And I thought, oh, it's 4 o'clock. And we were eating about 6. And I thought, if I have something now, I know it's going to ruin my dinner. And I have prepped the most amazing roast dinner. I cannot wait to eat it. So I don't want to ruin my dinner at 6. But I found myself going, but like, am I eating enough? Like, does this hunger mean that there's something wrong? And I was like, oh, wow, look at you scaring yourself because you're hungry. That's just programming left over from childhood where you're told when you're younger, oh, you can't go hungry. Like, you must eat. You were constantly told, eat, right? And from well-intended parents. And I always say it's left over from the war whenever food was scarce. Certainly here in Europe, food was scarce and everybody was like, you must feed your babies because a skinny child was an impoverished child. If all the skinny children years ago were considered poor. And so you didn't want to be poor. You wanted your child to be plump because it showed that you were affluent and wealthy. So a lot of that is handed down through generations to make our children slightly overweight because it's a sign of prosperity. Just like years ago having a tan, right? Nobody ever wanted to have a tan. If you had a tan, it meant that you worked outside. All of the rich people were white because they did not, or unless they were dark skinned anyway, but they did not want to show that they were working outside because that meant that they, were workers. So my point is that, what is my point? I've gone way off point now. My point is that, yes, I was triggered yesterday because I honestly thought, oh my God, I'm hungry. Am I hurting my body? And I was like, oh wow, look at you scaring yourself. Like look at my mind scaring myself. Now I know that like this is bullshit. And then I reminded myself, if I was doing Ramadan, I wouldn't even have eaten for the whole day. And yet I had eaten. I had a beautiful big breakfast and I had a snack mid-morning and a cup of coffee. But if I was on Ramadan, I wouldn't have eaten one single thing. And I still wouldn't have been eating until sundown. And yet they survive. So that's what I always remind myself. Your body feeling doesn't necessarily mean your reaction to your body feeling isn't necessarily real. So I want you all to question that in the future. Really ask yourself, okay, is this real or is this just my body triggering some kind of fear in me that may or may not be based in reality? Oftentimes it's not based in reality. Oh, drop on my phone. Right, let's keep going. Karen is asking, I'm definitely feeling and seeing my glutes changing, but what I have not seen is the change in the sides a bit further down in my glutes from my thighs. Which exercises work those, or is it impossible to get rid of cellulite in that area? Karen, I'm going to go really quickly here because I have a few more questions I want to get through. Cellulite is just fat. So if you have pockets on the sides of your thighs or cellulite, it's just fat. Whenever you get rid of all of your fat, you get rid of all of your cellulite. And if you get really thin and still have cellulite, it means you still have fat. So I don't have any cellulite apart from if I squeeze my butt really hard. And that's because I don't have very much fat at the minute and I have a big amount of muscle. So I have a lot of muscle in my hamstrings and the muscle pushes through the skin. And because there's very little fat on the outside, very little cellulite. When I do have more fat, I get a sausage roll under my butt and I get cellulite. I get cellulite in my butt. Cellulite is just fat. That's all it is. So lose the fat and the cellulite will go. And the only way to completely eliminate cellulite is to completely eliminate fat. And I mean completely. Like you need to be, if you were to have no cellulite, you'd have to be about 12% body fat. That's the only way to get rid of it. So you just either have to accept it or get down to about 12% body fat. It's your choice. But keep going. You're doing the right thing. You're building muscle. You're burning fat. You're going in the right direction. Stacey Beale, how long can I eat 1,200 calories? She goes on to say, I did BC3, but camp 3 prior to this one. When this is done, I will have 7 weeks at 1200. I still have fat to lose. I feel good at the current training levels and calories. Is it okay to continue at 1200 until I reach my goal? 100%. If you're feeling good at 1200 and you have energy at 1200 and you are enjoying the training and you're enjoying how your body looks, rock on. There is no lower limit. There's people who say, oh, you should never eat at 1200 calories because you'll wreck your metabolism. I probably said that in the past too. What I've realized from experience is it's not true. It's not true. If you eat around your training, you train consistently, you build muscle consistently, you eat food consistently. What your body loves is consistency. Your body doesn't love yo-yo dieting. Your body doesn't love it when you go up and then down and then up and then down. Your body loves consistency. So if you eat consistently 1200 calories, you do that for a long period of time, even if you then go up to 1400 or 1500, if you stay there consistently, your body will respond. Your body hates surprises. It hates you crashing it up and crashing it down and exercising for a while, then stopping exercising. It loves consistency. And when you have consistency, it will reward your hard work. So if you love the 1200, stay there. It won't do you any harm. Gonzalez, Barb, is it possible to overdo this type of training? I always try to do my hardest. I'm constantly sore, but the other day I was having a hard time sleeping. My legs get too hot and in some pain. It got me wondering. It's not possible to overdo it, no. It could be that you just are feeling fatigued from the training, but you probably will get stronger. I get like that sometimes if I've done 2 or 3. Well, I always do 2, but quite often I'll do 3. Sometimes I've done 4 of these workouts, strength workouts in a day when I'm recording. Then I'll get like what's like kind of restless legs, if you like. But that's only just because my body is super fatigued. So it's not possible to overdo it. You will get fitter over time and then that will dissipate. But unfortunately, it is a necessary evil that you have to put up with in the meantime. Just know that the more that you push through, the more that you keep going, the more that you increase your endurance levels and your complexity levels, your fitness complexity levels, which is what you're doing at the minute by leveling up your training, the fitter you will become and the more all of those little symptoms that you're experiencing will go away. So it sounds like you're in the right place. Virginia de Kegel, how many times do you put Lucotan on to have good effect? I did with back camp, but I never got it dark enough to notice in picture. So what I do weekly is I put Lucotan on a Saturday morning, and then I dress in dark clothes, and then I wash it off before I go to bed, and then I do it again on a Sunday morning, and then I wash it off before I go to bed. And those 2 layers of Lucotan usually do me for the week. Now, I didn't do my Lucotan yesterday, so I did it this morning. So this tan that you see is the tan that was left over from Saturday plus the guide color on top. So you can see I actually look super brown, but that's because the guide color is on me as well. Once I wash off the guide color, I won't be quite so dark, but I love the color with the guide color on. So I do it twice a week. If you're doing it for the competition, you definitely want to be doing it like 2 or 3 days in a row until you're dark enough. The other thing you could do is put your guide color on the night before, go to bed in it, right? And then even if you have white sheets, it always washes off. Go to bed in the tan and wake up in the morning with the tan on. Don't wash the guide color off and take your photos then. So put on your highlighter over the top of it and then wash the guide color off after you have, after it's developed. So that's a really good way to make your skin look amazing. That's what I do for photo shoots. I will put on a layer of tan, another layer of tan 2 days in a row. And then the night before my photo shoot, I'll put on a huge layer of tan. And then the day of the photo shoot, I'll keep it on in the morning. And you're like a bit sticky and smelly, but it's better to look good than to smell nice, I say. So I then wash it off after the photo shoot. Okay, let's see if there's any more I can get through. No, I can't. There's loads. I just want to see if there's any. So I've answered a lot of them. Seema is asking about heels. If you don't own any or don't know how to wear them, Seema, I would borrow some and get them on. They don't even have to fit you, right? Because you can just cut off your feet in the picture. Get some on for the after photo, definitely. Cynthia, she loves the beautiful workout clothes Amy and I wear. Bo and T are my favorite workout clothes. B-O and then the symbol and then T-E-E. I don't know if they're available in America, but they are superb. I love them. Go check them out. Amy Levasseur is saying that she doesn't think her body is responding to the workouts. There has been no change in her body. She's definitely following all of the meal plans and workouts. What could it be? It honestly is probably your hormones, unfortunately, if you're not seeing any changes. Like if you are 100% following the meal plan, 100% following the workouts and the cardio, it is probably your hormones. I don't know if you're on HRT. I definitely would consider it. I don't know if you're on GLP-1s. If not, I definitely would consider it. My cousin came to me. She has really bad endometriosis. My cousin's wife. She came to me about 4 months ago and asked me about the GLP-1s because she has literally been starving herself and going to the gym and doing personal training, trying to lose the weight. She can't lose it. She's always struggled with her weight. She said, do you think she should go on GLP-1s? I said 100%. I gave her my doctor's number. She went and saw him, got a prescription, lost 4 kilograms in the first month, which is 8.8 pounds. And then I saw a photo of her on Saturday night. Says she's never felt more amazing. Her endometriosis pain is gone, completely gone. She sleeps like a baby. She is feeling amazing. She saw a photo of her the other night going to a black tie event with Jamie, my cousin, her husband. Fuck me, she looks amazing. She was wearing the most beautiful dress. I was like, you are so thin. I was like, you look amazing. Like she just looked gorgeous. She said, Kim, I'm eating normally, I'm exercising normally, but it's just flushed my body of all the fat. It's unbelievable. And she's just microdosing. She's just taking, I think, 0.1 milligrams a week, and the starting dose is 0.25 milligrams a week. So she's taking 0.01. Yeah, so half a 0.1, so half a dose, less than half a dose a week, and that's all. And she did manage to lose weight on that dose. It just whatever it does for PCOS or endometriosis, just causes the body to flush out, to literally process insulin better, and the fat just melts off. So but that is what I would possibly recommend, is looking into those, because they really are the miracle peptide. And I'm not sure if you're in, I think you're in America. If you're in the UK, hit me up. I'll have a couple of options for you. If you're in America, I have an option for you as well. LEMD is where I get mine from. So hopefully you've been watching this, and I'm going to just post the link here of where who I recommend in America. I did go through quite a few people looking for reputable suppliers, and LEMD is who I recommend. I will put the link here in the chat for anybody who is, I am an affiliate as well. So just for full transparency, LEMD, why is this not coming up? LEMD. There it is there. So for anybody who's interested in GLPs in America, that's who I recommend after thorough research. Okay, team, thank you so much for showing up today for the Q&A. Thanks for all the questions. If I didn't get to your question, don't panic. I will go back and answer it in under the Q&A graphic. And can't believe next week's the last week of the program. Like, it's insane how fast it goes. So I will see you all for a Q&A next week. There will not be a Q&A the following week, unfortunately, because I will be away skiing. And as much as I would love to do a Q&A, I have tried to do it in the past, do Q&As when I'm skiing, but the internet isn't good enough in the chalet where we're staying. So I actually can't do a Q&A because it just ends up being extremely painful because I can't get it to connect. So I am taking 3 very well-deserved weeks off over the holidays. I will be off from the 13th until the whatever the first week in January is. I'm literally just, this has been one of the hardest years of my life, I won't lie. So I am taking a full 3 weeks off over December. I'll still be in the groups and I'll still be about, and I'll still be like popping into the holiday shred people, and I might throw in some fun stuff for you guys there, but I'm not going to be doing any coaching calls for those 3 weeks. I'm going to try and take as much time off with my family as I possibly can. So just give you a heads up, but I will see you next week for another Q&A anyway, and it'll be really fun. And then get ready for Butt Camp 4.0. If you guys are like, I know that I want to continue with you in January, well, we're going to release it in, I think in 2 weeks on the 15th. I think we're releasing it of December, and we will have all of the workouts recorded before it even goes live. Not edited fully, but definitely recorded. So they're all going to be in there as well. So you don't even have to wait to start if you don't want, which will be brilliant. Okay. Thanks so much. Love you all. Have a great day. And thanks for being here, and talk to you all soon. Sending you lots of love. Okay. Bye.